Hello, we're the Book Zealots. I am Prometheus, and this video will be about The Subtle Knife, the second book of his Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. If you don't want spoilers, stop now. Moving on, we are introduced to a character named Will and his mother, who is absolutely bonkers and kind of freaks out. He then pays some random woman to watch her, and we will ignore her for the rest of the book. He then travels to his old house where they meet two guys. He's supposed to grab this writing case, accidentally pushes some guy down the stairs, and kills him. He then runs away, very bad, freaking out. He finds this tree, saves a cat for no other reason than he can, and discovers a weird hole in space-time, which he decides to hop through, because that's what you do when you find weird holes in space-time. He then finds an abandoned city with nobody there, where he's then subsequently attacked by Lyra. Yeah, you remember Lyra from the previous book. They sleep in some random house, eat food, and then they meet two kids, which are apparently the only citizens of this world, and they talk about specters, which they have no clue of. Moving on! They then hop through their world, back to the world where Will comes from, where Lyra meets with a Dr. Malone, who then realizes that she's studying dust, which I didn't mention in the previous book, but if you read the book, then you know what I'm talking about. Dr. Malone, we'll get back to her. Will then moves on, and, oh yeah, Will gains a knife that can cut through any material and can cut through dimensions. Moving on. Lyra then subsequently loses the Golden Compass, which she gained in the previous book, to a Sir What's-His-Name that I can't remember, and then it's discovered that Sir What's-His-Name is from her world, and then he's working with Mrs. Coulter to find Lyra because of a witch prophecy, which we'll get to shortly. Will helps her regain the Golden Compass. They travel through a dimension back to his world. Oh yeah, he lost 2 fingers because he gained the knife, because that's a thing. Where they meet with a witch, and the witches, during this whole time, have been trying to figure out what Azrael has been doing since he opened up the world, which has thrown their world in chaos. Scoresby leaves to go find the severed head from the previous book, because apparently he's not dead, which is determined to be Dr. Grumman, which we'll get to. Seraphine and Pechlin discovers Azrael. They realize that he's trying to fight the Authority, which is apparently equivalent to God, but we'll get back to that. Moving all the way back down here again, Will, Lyra, and a witch, Seraphina Pechlin, which I can't pronounce. They meet with Scoresby and not Scoresby. Scoresby gets killed fighting a Zeppelin! But moving on, Dr. Grumman meets with Will, who turns out to be his long-lost father, which we didn't mention earlier. His father is then killed by a witch that was part of Seraphina Pechlin because he turned down her love years ago, and then she kills herself because of reasons. Lyra is kidnapped by Coulter after Coulter kills Sir What's-His-Name for reasons unknown. Will then has the knife and meets 2 angels who work with Lord Azrael. These angels are named Broch and Bartholomeus. I can't pronounce their names. Also, Lyra and Coulter found a world to harm. So Will cuts their hole and goes to their world in search of Lyra, and then ends the book.